Good morning, YouTube. This is Frankie's Porsche 911. It's a 996. Is it Carrera?
Carrera.
Just a regular Carrera. So this is Frankie. You might remember him. He's the guy who bought my 430. It's my buddy from Houston, and he is buying my 430. Bye-bye 430. This is his other toy, one of his other toys. We're gonna put new brakes and brake fluid, basically doing a whole damn brake job on this sucker. Should be nice and ready to actually stop, which is always a good thing. It's really hot, so we got the AC running, we got the fans running, so I apologize for the noise, but it's gonna be like 100 degrees today. It's Texas.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Alright, so first thing we gotta do is get those lugs slightly loose before we jack it in the air, otherwise we'll never get those wheels off. So these are 19 millimeter, and I got my nylon covered socket so we don't scratch these wheels. And we're just gonna break them loose. You don't have to take out the bolts, just get them loose. Whoa, that is on there.
Dude.
That's like 50 Ugga Duggas. Holy crap. Someone impact those suckers on?
Yes, well, I got the tires put on a discount tire, so the kids there probably.
Oh,
yeah, you know.
yeah, holy crap. Alright. So we're gonna do that on all four wheels and get those loose. There's a jack point kind of right there at the front and a jack point really far in the rear, so thankfully my quick jack just barely is gonna fit this car. Alright, so with the quick jack, you wanna raise it up until the arms touch the car and then check them again, so we'll do that real quick. Alright. Now that they're touching, let's make sure that they're actually on the jack points so we don't damage anything. Alright, so you can see it's on the jack point and on the jack point, so we're good to lift. Up! Can you make sure the tail doesn't hit my garage? Because it'll move backwards a little.
Okay, I'm watching it.
There we go. And then, well, once it's up all the way, you let it down until it gets on the locks. And now we're set. So what's really cool about the quick jack is now that the car's up in the air, we can actually disconnect these. Disconnect, you have to find there's a little notch. There it is. And you align that with the little clip with the notch and just pull. Like there. Alright, so the master is in the driver's side front. So we're gonna start with the passenger rear, then do the driver's rear, then the passenger front, then the driver's front. So you always work your way furthest from the master cylinder. That way you're flushing as much fluid as possible through, then slightly less fluid, slightly less fluid, slightly less fluid. First wheel is ready to come off. Alright, so because we're doing the rotors, we got to take off the calipers. 10 millimeter hex bolt. We're going to break them loose with the breaker bar because those are usually torqued to quite a bit. There we go. So there is a pin going through the bar that holds on the brakes. So you pull the pin with some pliers like that. Right? And then we tap that pin out with a hammer and a punch. So we got a punch and a hammer. We're just going to tap that pin out.
It almost does a little bit.
Almost.
Here it goes.
Got it. Then that spring's got to come out, which it's holding this wire. You're going to have to gently... Here, we need a screwdriver. There's that.
Dude.
Kind of rusty.
Yeah.
So you can use a screwdriver and put it under the sensor and
Kinda
pop it.
Pry it out. I guess maybe right here.
Yeah. See, it's got little clips. You have to push the clips gently and kind of push on it up.
What if it would just come out? Just like there it goes.
There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Just go straight up. All right. So we got the sensor off the brake pads. We're going to pop off the cap on the bleeder, on the inner bleeder, so we can get the brake sensor wire out of the way.
Is this the thing that y'all did with like Rich's 458 and like it got stuck in there or some shit?
When Richard over torqued it, yes.
Oh, okay.
Look, Mom, I'm torquing.
Yes.
So it's just supposed to just pop off?
Yeah, you gotta wiggle it. You could do it on the outside one first just to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See how you stick it in that little loop and then kind of pry.
Yeah, it's just like a rubber cap.
Yeah,
right?
it's just a cap.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you just want to do that to the inner one so that you can get the wire out of the way, since the caliper's coming off.
There it goes. Okay.
Yep, there you go. Now I can get the wire out of the way. We can take the caliper the rest of the way off, so we can
Okay.
get the rotor off.
Is this thing just gonna like fall down?
But once it's ready to get the top bolt, you'll have to hold it.
Okay.
And they're pretty heavy. They're not like super heavy, but you know, they're not light. There we go.
Alright.
And then once it's off, just maybe set it on one of the control arms so it's out of the way. Something just so it doesn't fall. There you go. You just don't want to pull on the brake line. You got screws?
Oh yeah, that's right. And there's
Full
I got new screws too.
That's
yeah.
weird. Alright,
Yeah.
well, you unscrew screws and pull off the rotor. Alright, get those screws off. Easy peasy.
No problem.
No, hopefully the rotor wiggles off.
Yep.
Got a new rotor, nice and shiny,
Mhm.
pretty. So we'll slap it on there and screw it in. Screw holes got a line.
Those two. So it's I think it was these ones, right?
Yeah, it
Just
looks
that?
like the inset ones.
Those are too small.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. There it is.
Alright, so we're putting in 2 lugs just to make sure that the rotor is in the correct position when we tighten it down, because there's a little bit of play and you could kind of like look into it and see that the holes weren't perfectly aligning. So
And these are aftermarket. So
yeah, and they're
it's not-
aftermarket, so we just want to be a little bit cautious, but it seems to be good now. Alright, we'll tighten it down. There you go.
Should be good just like that, huh?
That's it. Before we put the caliper on, let's compress the
Oh yeah,
pistons.
that's right.
Just because it'll be easier. So you can probably try and do it with your hand. Just like
Oh.
grab the pistons. So kind of reach your fingers in on these cups
Okay.
and squeeze the shit out of them.
And
Like
what?
you-
And
like-
what will that do? Pretty much,
you wanna-
it'll compress it and it'll
Yeah.
stay down.
Yeah, you want to compress them. See if they move at all. Anything? No? Alright, so we're going to use a C-clamp to squeeze the pistons because we're too weak to do it by hand.
Yep. Yep.
They are not being
Looks like it's. Oh
Cooperative.
yeah, it's going down for
squished.
sure.
Yeah. Squish it as much as you can.
Okay.
Alright, since Frankie's squeezing the calipers, I'm going to suck out some of the old brake fluids and so we're going to be replacing it because we don't want it to overflow. You can see it's really close to the top. Yeah, look at it, it's like up in the neck. So I got to get this removed before he puts in too much and we overflow. Always remember, be careful with the brake fluid. It's caustic stuff. It'll burn your paint. So you can see the pistons have been compressed, so now we have tons of room to work. So we're gonna shove in the new pads. Well, actually, we might as well bolt the caliper up first and then put in the pads.
Where's the other one? Yeah.
The Ferrari calls for, I think, 80 Newton meters, which is around like 60 foot-pounds. So we're just gonna do that because I have to assume they're pretty similar. It's a lot of torque
How hard should I?
until it clicks.
Until.
Just pull a smooth motion until it clicks. There you
Yeah,
go. That's
okay.
it. Don't need to pull a Richard. That's it.
Cool.
We got the new pads, so we gotta shove the brake sensor wire into the new pads. Turns out these ones are kind of interesting. It's like a long probe, and you just jam it down a hole.
Actually, let me put that wire back. Let's see where it was.
So that one goes in that
I
hole,
think it just goes in the hole. Huh?
and then there's a clip. See how it clips into that slot, and then that clip goes in that hole.
Yeah.
It'll be that direction. Yep. So the sensors are in, and now slide it in. All right. And now we put in the spring, the pin, and the clip. It goes the other way.
This
From the
way?
inside, yeah, inside out. Nope.
Or
Yeah, yeah.
like the
Starts
way we
like
did
that.
it, like this.
Yep. Exactly. And then just maybe don't go, no, because
No?
then you won't be able to spring. You got right there. Hold it.
Okay.
Hold it there.
All
Now you
right.
gotta put in the spring.
This right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Slide it under the wire. Don't cut the wire.
Yeah. Don't cut the wire. Yeah, I didn't really see what this was holding on to earlier. This thing
The spring?
when I was taking
holds
it
the
out,
brake pads.
it was like just.
So it just compresses against the brake pads like this. And then that, see, you gotta hold it down and then push that pin over it.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So then
that's right.
push it in and then slide the spring on top of it. Yep.
Yeah, just like that.
And now you need to probably wrap the pin with a hammer to get all the way. Oh, it's in all the way.
Yeah, like I literally just.
Wow, that's way too
It
easy.
just went straight in, yeah.
Now you just need the clip. It's just barely not seated all the way. Get the little clip. Pop the clip in. Ta-da! That's
Yay.
it.
Sweet.
All right, one down. Frankie's pulling off the wheels and work on the brake pad and rotor on that side. I'm gonna add new fluid and start purging the brake fluid. Start on this guy so you can see we got the new pad and rotor on. So we'll bleed it, and by the time he's all done with that one, I'll be done with this one, and we'll just I'll be following him by a half a step. Oh, got the classic German brake fluid for the German car. Oh my god, this can is horrible. I'm making a mess. Why the hell do they have it in a can like this? Alright, so we've got my Motive pressure bleeder. So basically we take this adapter, screw it onto the brake fluid reservoir, get it good and tight, and then we're going to connect that to the Motive and pressurize this guy up to about maybe 15-20 psi. Then when we crack the bleeders, it's just going to push the brake fluid through, so we don't actually have to do the good old-fashioned pump in the brake pedal. Now with these Motives, you can actually put brake fluid in the bleeder and have it push the fluid through. I don't like doing that for two reasons. One, then I'm not changing brake fluid enough to have it like worthwhile, because the brake fluid will go old and get moisture and be crap anyway. Second thing is, I've had the caps pop off, and with it being pressurized, that means it would be pressurized spraying brake fluid all over the place. Sounds really fun, right? So that's why I don't do that. I know that people have commented that I don't do that, and I can, but I don't want to. All right, got my breeder line plugged in, got my collection cup. These are 11 millimeter. Hopefully they're not on with Ugga Dugga strength. I'm gonna put that up there so when it bleeds, it doesn't have a, all right, let's try it. Oh my God. On it really tight. There we go. See the old fluid collecting the cup. Pull out 2 cups out of this one, maybe 2.5. Almost filled up with the second cup. Okay, so after every 2 cups, disconnect the Motive and pour in new fluid and top it off. So that way we never run the master cylinder dry. We don't ever want to have air get in the system, because then we have to re-bleed the whole thing. So disconnect it. And add our new fluid. And now reconnect the Motive and repressurize. And we still have 15, so I'm going to put in a bit more pressure. Alright, we're going to start working on the inner bleeder. Now is the appropriate time to grab a beer, because we're going to sit around.
Yes.
It's got the hose attached to the bleeder, got the cup stored in a place where it's nice and high. Jesus. Who the hell tighten this thing? Hans tighten this shit down, man. It's like, the Germans don't let the bolts go loose.
Damn, dude. Those air bubbles. So those bubbles, is that like from the air in the lines?
It can be, yeah. That was, yeah. So that's, if you're feeling squishiness, that's probably why you're feeling squishiness.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, well that's probably it.
Yeah.
Yep, there goes another bubble. All right, that one is all set. Frankie's got the pads ready on the other side, so we're gonna move over there. But before I do, because we drained out more fluid, I'm gonna add more fluid to the reservoir, make sure we're topped off. He's gonna continue replacing pads. I'm gonna continue bleeding. All right, so this wheel's all done. We're throwing it back on. Put on the alignment tool so you don't mar up the rotor and all that stuff. But yeah, you gotta kind of pick it up and
Okay.
yeah, a little bit of pain, but
There we go. Okay.
I can pull the e-brake. There you go. And we're on the last one. So I actually went ahead and bled all the brakes before he even got here, so it should be all set. Whew, all right. Everything's put back together. We gotta torque down the wheels, but before we do that, we're gonna get the car back on the ground. In order to do that, you have to actually lift it up, pull the safety bars, and then drop it down. First we go up. There. Now we lift the safety bar like that, and like that. All right, now we drop it down. We gotta torque down all the wheels to 100 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Don't do jerks, push in smooth motion for torque wrenches.
Okay.
Otherwise you get a bad torque. There you go. Okay, Porsche is ready to rock and roll. Of course, the first few times you hit the brakes, it's going to be squishy, so we need to pump it first before we move anywhere. Otherwise, we'll end up running through my garage or something. Alrighty, so stab the brake pedal a bunch of times.
It's hard as shit.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
See how it went to the floor?
It's like totally went to the floor.
Yeah, keep doing that.
Okay.
It should get harder and harder
It is.
until you basically can't even move it.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I go about like not even halfway anymore.
Alright. Probably good to go. So he's gonna have to seat the brake pads by doing some progressively stronger and stronger brakes, like a 30-mile-an-hour brake, a 40-mile-an-hour brake, a 50-mile-an-hour brake, and so on. Supposed to do that a bunch of times to seat the new pads. Depending on your pads, like it's different. Different pads have different things that they say you're supposed to do.
It's gonna be hard to do right now. Traffic.
Yeah, rush hour, so I don't know how you're gonna do that. Oh, by the way, this is probably the loudest Porsche on earth. I rest my case. Sweet. Alright guys, that's gonna do it. So Porsche brakes, pretty simple, just like all the other brakes. Pretty simple. So brake jobs are always something you can save a ton of money on by doing it yourself. Just buy some brake pads online usually. Sometimes you can find them in stores depending on your car. New brake fluid is always a good idea whenever you're changing the pads or rotors. Just, you know, brake fluid doesn't last that long. It starts accumulating moisture and stuff and gets kind of crappy, so always a good move to do that. If you guys are interested in winning some Armor Shield ceramic coating, go visit my website, normalguysupercar.com, and sign up for the email list. And once you do that, like, share, and subscribe to my videos and to my channel. And I'm just gonna choose some winners to win some of these kits. It's ceramic coating, it's amazing stuff. Go visit their website, avalonking.com. It's the Armor Shield 9 ceramic coating. It's great stuff, I love it. All right guys, that's gonna do it. We're gonna be doing a lot more car stuff. If you wanna stay tuned, it's gonna be sweet.